Thanks, Mike Sloop.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Number presented, sir.
I would like to add a couple things to old business,
Okay,
civil service commission update.
Okay.
And administration remodel update.
you mean that building,
Yes.
admin, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, then, Keith, do we have any public comment?
I do not have anybody registered for public comment.
Okay. Correspondence. I think in our packet, don't we even have anything this time, do we? No, I don't think so. No correspondence, anything about last time, okay? Then let's move on to the consent agenda. So we have just the meeting minutes for the consent agenda from the September 13 meeting. Is the cash flow also part of that? Is that a static?
I'll give it to you as well, if you like.
Okay,
It's small, unfortunately, but this is the paper we have to.
right, and this is part of the consent agenda? Or,
No,
I'm just trying to figure out what exactly are the elements, we have the meeting minutes.
They were never told, you know, I can find it.
yeah, I know, right? But that's why I gotta figure.
Yeah, we don't have any financials in terms of checks and stuff to approve.
No, there's no checks for you to do.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second it.
Any discussion? Tim, do you need a bigger font?
You think, huh?
I
How
agree.
many numbers I've been staring at?
Big. We can't fix that tonight, I'm afraid. But, okay, motion in a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, and next is, officers' reports.
So you guys received some documents that we didn't get last month, so there's some information there, but I want to start off with an update on the fire that was at the Columbia Hills Retirement Center. As you guys seen on the press releases that Jennifer put out, Chief Gorsuch was on a number of TV channels discussing it. Probably one of the biggest stories in the news for that day. Obviously, one fatality. We had a number of people transported, along with one firefighter injury that was minor and one police officer injury that was minor. Both of them drove themselves to the hospital. Fire Marshal Peterson was part of the team that investigated along with ATF. Right, it's ATF that came out.
Yeah.
So Chad, if you want to give them a little update on where you guys got.
Sure. The State Fire Marshal's Office came out along with the OSP arson. A couple guys with that. We specifically requested them because we could look at the remnants of the building until there was an overpressurization. Something blew up, and we wanted to identify that too. And then the ATF called up and asked if they could come out, and they came. And then we had a couple people from the Columbia County Fire Investigation Team, and then myself, Lieutenant Pleto, and Jim Christensen from our agency. And the area of origin was pretty simple to find. It was in the fatality person's apartment near her bed. And we know she had a tendency to smoke on home oxygen. And as much as everybody wants to call that the cause of the fire, we still cannot do that till we get the autopsy reports. Because she also liked to burn candles in her room to cover up the smell of her smoking. So that's why when we did the press release, we called it an accidental fire, accidental human caused fire. Kind of vague, which really frustrated some people. They always want a specific cause. We all know that unfortunately that's not, when there's multiple ignition sources within the area of origin, you can't point at one and just say it's if you can't support it. But the investigation went actually very well. It was a good team effort. We were done by about just before 4 o'clock that afternoon. Then we turned the building back to the owner management company and their insurance company that was on site when we were done. So we were able to wash our hands of the structure too, which is a plus.
So the morning of, following fire knockdown, and we had the primary search and rescue and mop up was underway, we conducted a hot wash, or basically an after action review with all our personnel there, because with all of our guys working overtime and shift trades and trying to get that crew back together to actually be able to discuss it with them, it was a good opportunity for us to do so. We did it then. Chief Mendola has scheduled one for later this month with the crews again, those that can attend. Again, we're lessons learned, things we can do better, things we did right. We're also going to be conducting one at the chief level, because this is, I mean, in my tenure here, this is the largest fire that involved life and life safety. Obviously, people trapped, people were recovered, law enforcement assisted. Dispatchers did a fantastic job. It was an all hands. We had units from as far away as Tualatin Valley and Portland sent rigs. We had AMR coming from Washington County and from across the in Vancouver. So we had resources from almost everywhere within probably 80 miles of us that were sent to assist. And so we want to thank Vernonia Fire for coming and covering Scappoose. Scappoose picking up a bunch of calls. Chief Pritchard went to CCOM and acted as our liaison, because it was an all hands on deck fire, and he was able to find resources and work with Chief Sanchez, who was medical branch at the time. And so it really was a good collaboration. There's things we learned, there's things we need to do better next time. And once that's all done, we'll compile it in the paper and you guys will get a copy of it. It's going to go out to all of our folks in the district.
I can't imagine what the first arriving company officer saw and what was going through his head. Fire, people, I can't imagine that. And
Chief Gorsuch was first to arrive. That was when there was a minor explosion, then there was a larger explosion. And on that, we saw the body cam footage from the law enforcement officer from St. Helens PD. That was, it scared them. And it was, we did have something detonate in the room. They believe they've got it down to an O2 tank, but it knocked 3 of the walls down and put a part of the roof over in the parking lot. So it was a substantial blast when it did. And it is a true miracle that we didn't have more people seriously hurt.
crews did a great job.
They did. And then you have the other information in there, report. Currently, we're looking at it, we're with forecasting out 7,000 calls for this coming fiscal year. Now, whether we meet that, it all depends. We saw a downturn, if you see the document that CCOM provides for us. We've been averaging just over 600 and we had over 115 drop. And it always happens right about the time kids go back to school, because there's no one out doing silly things. And we just see it drop, and then it'll start picking back up right before the holidays. They'll dip down in the holidays. So like the stock market, it's up and down. Any questions we can answer for you?
Yeah, but for the fire marshal, did we determine the cause for the fire on the Oakwood garage fire?
That was actually an interesting fire. I've never had a fire that had a more precise timeline, because they were watching TV and the cable went out. And then a few minutes later, the power went out. But working with the private investigators, there was an outlet right below the breaker box, and it had a compressor plugged into it that was allowed to run off and on. And then they had just purchased or gotten from a friend a large they call it a marine size, but automotive type, battery charger, the wheeled kind that's like a little hand truck, and they just kind of pushed it in there. And it looks like it did something with the compressor and it shorted out, burned up that plug. And so, electrical, there were some questions about the grounding of the house and whether some of the grounding was done through the gas pipeline, which is a code violation if it was. Not an uncommon thing though, but and part of the gas meter failed too, which is a little unusual. But, yeah, but it all came down to that electrical outlet.
All right, thank you.
There seems to be, just a note in the office report about, St. Helens Fire Station and then the weight room. Can you talk about
Yes, sir.
that a little bit?
Yes, sir. So, and some of you were on the board. It's been a few years. We had a issue with the upstairs shower at the St. Helens Station. It was leaking into the bay. It was leaking into the battalion chief's office. At the time, Chief O'Connor had a company come out and effect a repair. We don't believe that repair was done correctly, and we're getting leakage again into the bays and also back into the BC's bunker. So we had a company come out, look at it, and what can we do to repair that and keep, and fix the shower pan. At the time, in our discussion, determined that we're not up to code. So that we're not up to code because we do not have male and female restrooms or showers. So in the process of this repair, we're going to separate the bathrooms into male and female. They'll be able to lock the door, shower, use the facilities. It's just the way the station was built many, many years ago. And so with this repair, our belief is we bring it up to code. And so Chief Medina gave the company some latitude to come up with what cost it would take to repair. We're also looking at SDAO for covering the cost of the repair of the shower pan. Obviously, we would cover whatever we need to do to bring the shower up to code, whatever SDO is not going to cover. In that process, we were looking at how we store stuff. So currently, the back shop, which used to be literally the back shop of St. Helens Fire, where the mechanics used to work, that building is where we store our turnouts. We store fire prevention stuff. We store our tools and equipment, nozzles, stuff like that. And basically, it's just a standing building with some walls up and chicken wire to keep people out. It's not up to code. The thought was that we would look at, in order to affect some of the repairs and changes to St. Helens Station, we would update that building and put it up to modern standards and remove those doors and create a room for our turnouts where you can't have UV light. Right now, our turnouts have UV light coming in through the windows. Our storage is not secure and the building needs to be updated. In that process, we realized that we could take the weight room that's upstairs at the St. Helens Station and move it out there. One is downstairs. They will be able to go out and work out. If they're dropping weights, we're not dropping on the second floor where we're hitting joists and we're shaking drywall loose. Move that out there, but it also affords an opportunity to expand the day room and potentially put additional bunk rooms at the St. Helens Station for additional personnel. And so it's kind of a multi-step process. It started with that bathroom, and then we looked at what can we do to improve our storage and keeping our records and our equipment secure and in a relatively secure building. And so that's the process we're looking at. And then that process, the next phase would be to improve the St. Helens Station and maybe expand some bunk rooms.
So at this point, you're just looking at plans and costs.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. The bathroom is not. The bathroom is something we have to, because the bathroom is leaking, so we are going to fix that. Everything else is secondary and it's just we're collecting data.
Okay. Anything else for the chief's report? We can, really, the next thing is some, old business. But, anything else for the chief officer report? Okay, then let's move into, the two mentioned from old business of the Civil Service Commission. You have a status there?
So the Civil Service Commission Chief Medina spoke with both Chief Sherrick and Chief Pritchard. And since it's a group of the three departments, asked if they had somebody that they would like to put forth as potential candidate, basically word of mouth. The concern is that we open it up to to open up to the paper and try to collect others. It will be people that may not quite understand what the expectation is or the understanding of what their position is or how they operate. So the thought was each district would attempt to find several candidates that all three districts can interview and then determine, who the three commissioners would be for the civil service. Currently that's in process. So we have a couple of candidates that we're looking at internally. I believe Chief Pritchard has a couple and Chief Sherrick is shopping around trying to find somebody in Clatskanie. That way be a true representation of all three districts. That was Chief Medina's idea, and I think it's been a long time coming, and we share it, so it would make sense. On a note that one of our former civil service commissioners has passed away, Chuck Whittick. Chuck Whittick passed away. The district is going to make a donation to the
St. Helens Boosters Club.
St. Helens Boosters Club in his name. That's what the family requested in lieu of flowers. And Jennifer is also in the process of getting plaques for all three of them. One obviously will go to Chuck's family. And then those other plaques will go to the two Jacks that are Jack and Jack commissioners for all their time and years they put in for our organization. And that a Clatskanie Scappas.
What about, Chuck? It's been on the board, I think the longest, like 30 years. Are we gonna get him a plaque?
All three are going to get a plaque. Family
Okay,
will
okay.
receive Chuck's plaque.
All right, thank you.
Do we have a timeline on getting these names together? No, you said it's in process.
Chief spoke to Chief Pritchard and Chief Sherrick last month. I'm assuming the Fire Defense Board next week. They'll probably bring it up to him again. We need to move on it because we cannot certify any lists and we cannot collect any more personnel until that happens.
Can you find out what the schedule is and report to the
Yes,
board?
sure.
That'd be great, just so, I just want to, make sure that we are moving this along.
When's the fire defense board meeting?
19th. It's here. Most likely, if we're not using CCOM, we'll be using LVTC upstairs. I haven't talked to Chief Mendolia about it.
Okay, then can you also give an admin building update?
I was hoping Jeremy would be here for it. So the admin building is in process. The walls are stood. Rough electrical is in. They've painted the exterior of it. They met today. Kate, you were down there. Do you have anything else to add on that? So the interior walls are up and rough electrical's in. And they're waiting for the inspection, I believe, for the rough electrical. Once that's approved, then they can start putting up drywall and the drop ceiling.
So no schedule yet on that.
No, so we do not have a completion date yet.
We're gonna have a final next week, inspection. They're gonna building codes get coming in.
I won't ask for a schedule now because those can be time, problematic with respect to inspection. So, okay. But please provide an update at the next board meeting on that, so we all know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next is the resolutions.
You didn't put this many in. Not a lot. The first one is attorney-client privilege, and that's simply saying that we get some invoices from time to time, and the details of it necessarily we're not allowed to review. So, you guys have seen that before, where they invoice us as people that we've used this whole time, so the detail necessary that some of us might request, this is just a resolution saying that you agree that we're gonna pay those, we're paying those, and that if we want to see them, we'd have to involve the attorneys and parties, and if you want more detail for that. So that was pretty straightforward. Maybe let me start, sir.
You want me to read them?
Sure. Yeah, we did get these,
Yes, you had all of these beforehand. I emailed them to you. The back is the only thing that's different. That's from last time.
and these there are four.
There are only four. It's a transferring of funds, which, the Microsoft Office, which we have to have. That's one I'm asking for a resolution before, because we got a bill for, nearly $26,000, which, we cannot do. We cannot pay, as, did some resolutions beforehand without approval from the board to operate all of our Microsoft Office for their entire district. So I told them, sorry, I can't pay this. I need approval from the resolution. I didn't have a resolution or anything, so I need to talk to you guys about that with our licensing, and this resolution for Microsoft Office addresses that. The reallocation of funds, I passed out as well. you guys have a copy of. I also referenced the board meeting from September 8th of 2020, I believe. Yes, that I attached there too. And that is speaking about, you guys allocated certain funds for vehicles that we haven't received. That was obviously not received yet due to COVID and manufacturing and everything. So we're requesting to reallocate those funds that we set aside for those vehicles. So it's something that you guys approved. I attached the board minutes already. It's highlighted in the back that actually, both of you approved it actually. So, it's just something that we're asking for those two vehicles for. And then the transferring of funds. Funds were being transferred previous to my arrival without, two people, without an authentication essentially. One person was able to transfer as much money as they wanted without anybody else knowing. Now I made sure of it with the help of Kate to transfer those funds with at least two people, two approvers. We cannot transfer funds from any of our bank accounts unless two people are involved. And those two people that are approved, that you guys approved already with the previous resolution, those are the approvers that have check signing capability, are also able to when we put them in the system. So we stopped it because the banks were allowing one person to transfer whatever. So that's a quick overview.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution fiscal year 22-23-12 attorney-client privilege.
Second.
Do you want to look at these or did you see them in your?
That's all.
Okay.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed? So 4-0. Kelly is not here.
You didn't know from my phone.
My final resolution.
Go.
That's the Microsoft Office.
Are we gonna just do them all or?
Let's do one at a time.
Okay. I've always figured this time.
We got all. Hey, one person.
Only four this time.
You got a pen?
Nope.
I made sure the last one that Kelly signed left-handed for you,
I appreciate that. That's good.
for your,
It's more.
demand. All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution fiscal year 22-23-13 Microsoft Office.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0, motion carries.
On Microsoft Office.
How many licenses?
So 85, but we are that's why I set up to 26. We're diving into that. Because I'm taking care of it. That was the old bill.
She said.
We're not big enough. That's what-
Nobody can sign for me if they want.
I think that's the point of it, Mark, you know.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution fiscal year 22-23-15, transferring of funds.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried.
Promise I don't like them. Now that we're done. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution fiscal year 22-23-14, relocation of funds.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thanks for
You might as
standing
well
in
hold on
advance
to
to
the
get time, Chad.
That's
Appreciate that. Good, so.
Anytime. Expect that going forward.
Appreciate everybody's patience as we go through this.
Thank you.
So one thing I noticed in our packet, in the memorandum, dated 27 September 22, I believe that's part of the officer's report.
It's the redacted version of the report you guys received following the incident at Meadow Park.
I don't know if anybody, board members had any questions about it or anything like that. So just wanted to make sure if there were, great, if not,
Never heard of a patient turning over on the stretcher and falling out, but I guess anything's possible.
The hook held the green in place and it bent, but it didn't break.
okay. Then, next on our agenda is just, board member comments. I'm gonna start with Mark Van.
I just want to thank all the employees and staff for this incident at the retirement center. It sounds like it was hectic, but you guys did a great job getting it organized. And as I said earlier, I can't imagine what is going through my mind when you arrive and you see something like this. So I think the crews, everybody did a great job. So thank you very much. I will be attending the Oregon Fire Service Conference next month in Hood River. So hopefully get some good information since I'm on the board for OFDDA. I'll be attending that. And I got a BPSST meeting the end of this month that I'll be attending. So other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, I concur, you guys did a fantastic job of reading the Facebook comments at work, and I'm glad that everybody other than the ones we made it out, you know, especially our guys, and the police officers. You guys have been working really well together with everybody, and it's really good to see it going in a good direction. Getting everything buttoned down is really nice. Like that, so thank you for all your hard work.
Good job. Those, high risk, low frequency, things like that, are really hard to deal with. In, you know, opportunity for CPR out there, and there's nobody in the organization that's gonna have any problem if you get something like that. High risk, low frequency. We did that really well. So, good job for everybody.
I'll echo the same. We do, as a board, I think we all keep track and watch, and we do very much appreciate what you guys do. If there's anything else, I think, nothing else for tonight. So I think we are adjourned.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cow,
that's almost a record.
you mean I'm gonna get to go to bed before?